to prove you're the best in the world. Focus. Training. Dedication. Hard work leads to success and riches. Only those at the pinnacle of the game will triumph and earn the respect of their peers. Day 2 begins at the PokerStars in Monte Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final Super High Roller. The best and the wealthiest poker players from around the world have descended on Monaco to test their skills. With a 100k buy-in, this elite group will compete for a multi-million euro prize pool that most players can only dream of. The field is small, but large amounts of cash are waiting to be won. Last time, Antonio Sfondiari and Sam Trickett took their friendship to a new level.
Let me have a picture of you with your salad.
You got heart, that's for sure. You do smell good. Just can't beat Sam Trickett.
Phil Ivey fired 2 bullets, but was knocked out both times. And Jason Mercier showed us why he is one of the best in the business.
I got a little bit to play with.
We are about to get cards in the air, which means registration's closing.
So if you've got an extra 100K laying around, you can probably still make it. I'm sure they would love to have you, especially you.
He had to pawn his watch to pay for dinner last night. By the way, it's Jason Mercier, who came 7th in the main event, who's coming into day 2 of the Super High Roller as chip leader. He's got more than $1 million.
And you know what they say about Jason Mercier? Chips dig him.
With more than double the stack size of anyone at our feature table, Jason Mercier has another EPT major in his sights.
I've already won an EPT main event and an EPT high roller event, but I've never won a super high roller event. It's really important for me to hopefully run with the chip lead and win this one too.
Uber aggro Faraz Jaka has not only never won a super high roller, he's never even played one before, so he'll be looking to make his mark on his debut. Just like tablemate Viktor Blom did when he took down the super high roller at the 2012 PCA. He'll have to navigate through a field of superstars. And no star is burning brighter right now than Daniel Negreanu. Fresh from his 4th place finish in the main event, he knows exactly how to play this game.
Super high roller is all top-notch, A-level competition. If you are already afraid before you sit down, then you don't belong in a super high roller.
And then there's Phil Ivey. After busting twice on day 1, will he be back to fire a 3rd bullet? Well, there was no cap on re-entries in this tournament until now. It's officially a freeze-out.
Your boy Sam here, 2nd on the all-time money list. Poker now a trick-it-down economy. Daniel's 3rd on that list, only 17 million.
Confirmation that Ivey has rebought. He's back for more.
Igor here won the boring old regular high roller last year, beating Daniel. Viktor Blom, he's the super high roller champion. Kind of a big deal online, too.
The £1 million showdown was the first high roller we ever held on the EPT.
Oh.
Yes, the Germans. Hey, man.
Well, Kurganov is actually Russian, but he does have a German passport, and he lives in London. Confusing. Nicholas Heinecke is definitely German. He's got position on chip leader Jason Mercier, but Viktor Blom has position on him. Secondary feature table, more Germans. The table's headlined by Daniel Negreanu and the reigning Monaco Super High Roller champ, Justin Bonomo.
I'd also just like to remind everyone there's a Russian guy playing at our feature table named Smirnov. So, yeah.
Blinds 3,000, 6,000 with a 1,000 ante. Action on Faraz Jaka. And under the gun raised to 13,000 with ace-5 off.
Probably some kind of weird attempt to steal the blinds from UTG. Sounds ridiculous, but Faraz pretty much screams ridiculous.
Folded around to the blinds. Igor Kurganov gives up the small.
Come on, Faraz.
Yeah, Jason knows Faraz is looser than the gum at the bottom of a handbag.
King 10 for the tournament chip leader. He calls.
I have you covered.
Thanks, chip leader. That's the only reason why I raised.
Probably not lying.
Top pair for Mercier, second pair for Faraz.
Check.
Jason gonna let Faraz do what he do.
Which is the continuation bet for 13,000.
Jace, think you got a dirty stack there.
Mercier calls.
I think Faraz might be done betting this now.
Ace of hearts on the turn. Mercier now with the second nut flush draw to go with top pair.
Strong, but he wants Faraz to bet again. No luck.
Check, check. 9 of diamonds on the river.
Faraz just wants to get to showdown now, see if his five's any good.
Mercier bets 26,000.
That's an easier spot for value than the almost expired meat section.
And Faraz gives it up.
Yeah, he stays away from the expired meat. Check out Faraz. He looks like that one really awesome college professor that you know likes to get down.
Hope you're enjoying our coverage of the EPT Grand Final. Let us know using that hashtag.
Don't let us know if you're not, though.
Action on Nicholas Heineke. Pocket queens. This will be a raise. 12,000. Fold it around to Mike Watson. He passes. Kurganov on the button has pocket fives.
He's short, so this could be it for him, and re-entries are over, so Dr. Jones, no more parachute.
Kurganov all in for 85,000. Mercier folds, Faraz folds.
I call.
Heineke calls.
Snap call. And I hope that's not a cashmere jumper because Igor is about to get showered.
Oh, wait, I gotta get up.
Adds 0.5% to your equity. It's science.
Kurganov has 2 outs with 1 card to come.
Red 5.
Standing by.
Card is the ace of
Red
diamonds,
ace.
and Igor
All right.
will be eliminated.
Take it on, bro.
We lose Igor Kurganov.
Short day, bro. Oh, whatever. Back in the sun. There's some upside.
First player out on day 2.
I hate to break it to him, but the sun is free, and this tournament just cost him 200K. You know, I'd never even heard of Nicholas Heineke until here in Monaco. He's an online cash game nosebleeder and doesn't really play tournaments.
At the secondary feature table, actions on Fabian Quast. There's been a raise from Negrano and a call from Trickett.
Quast has got a hand you would typically see a flop with, even out of position to Daniel.
Quast 3 bets, raising to 50,000.
And Daniel doesn't really slow play in these spots, so I'd expect to see a 4th bet.
There it is, 115,000 total. Trickett's out of the way.
Fabian rarely just calling here.
Tough to fold after you put 25% of your stack in, bro. You might not have much fold equity, just saying.
All right.
All right, phew.
Quast folds.
You always get them to do what you want them to do, huh?
I think he wanted him to stick it in. His chips, I mean, lol.
Negrano now playing more than $500,000. Out in the field, Marvin Rettenmeyer has shoved over the top of Phil Ivy's opening raise.
Marvin is short, but this is a 5x re-raise. Phil doesn't look too thrilled.
Ivy folds. Rettenmeyer wins the pot, but is still very short, playing fewer than 20 big blinds.
Ivy is looking frustrated. $100 James for you to go down there and ask him if he wants a hug.
Back at the secondary feature table, Dan Smith is all in and in very bad shape.
Does anyone have a top hat, corncob pipe, or button nose for Dan Smith? No reason, he's just looking for a snowman.
Really? We're calling 8s snowmen? What is this, 2003?
That is what all the kids call it.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. 2 outs for Smith. He doesn't hit.
Good luck, guys. Amen.
Don't cry for him, Argentina. King Dan won the Super High Roller in Barcelona this season.
Sorel Mitzi now playing more than $1 million, thanks to a donation of 230,000 from Dan Smith.
Whoops.
And another elimination. We mentioned that Marvin Rettenmeyer was short. Well, now he's out.
Mad Marvin, and whether you choose the American or the English definition of that word, he doesn't look like either one.
What's the American definition of Marvin?
Dropping like flies.
Dropping like hip-hop albums, one every few minutes.
Only the top 7 will cash, with the winner receiving more than 1.7 million euros. Back at the feature table, Mikhail Smirnov is all in. Jason Mercier has re-raised to isolate.
Smirnov looking real good to double up.
Heineke's got kings.
Smirnov looking real good to bust out.
this looks like a re-raise. A 4-bet from Heineke to 84,000. Smirnov probably wants his money back, but it's too late.
See ya, Jason. What?
That's a 5-bet.
I'm all in.
Heineke 6-bet jams.
See ya, Jason.
Finally he folds. So Heineke locks up the side pot.
Kings, yeah.
Nice hand.
Kings. What can I do?
You know what Yakov Smirnov would say? When you are short stack, cards play you.
Mikhail Smirnov needs an ace. There's only 2 left in the deck. 1 card to come.
Not good.
It's not bad. Could have been a king.
No ace on the river.
Thank you.
So Smirnov is busto.
Quite a good start in the day.
I love this country.
I say Smirnov's busto, but he has still got that bag full of money.
Couldn't let the kings go, huh?
I don't know, man. It was tough, but we're short, so.
This guy refers to himself as we, yet it's Marvin who gets the mad moniker. I don't get it.
28 remain, and Jason Mercier has lost a chip lead, an honor that now belongs to Sorel Mitzi. Heineke has moved up to 6 on the leaderboard, with his fellow countryman Phil Gruesome rounding off the top 10. Talking of Gruesome, he's taking one of the empty seats at our feature table.
Lose one German, get a new German. Win one, lose one.
Igor's out.
You think he cares about his friend, but Igor is actually borrowing Phil's MP3 player.
Action on Tony Gregg. He folds from under the gun. Mike Watson also passes. Mercier's out. Faraz Jaka raises from the cutoff with A7. Aces for Heineke. Another massive hand. He's had queens, kings, and now aces.
And picking up aces against the loosest guy at the table. What a dream.
There's a 3-bet from the button to 32,000. Blom and Gruesome are out.
The norm would be for Faraz to fold now, but does that look like the haircut of a man who does the norm?
Faraz, 4 bets to 82,000.
4-bet bluff. And the only surprising thing Heineke could do here is fold.
He calls.
Hoping Faraz might punt his stack like it's 4th and 50.
Wow, Faraz flops a pair and the nut flush draw.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Faraz continues for 85,000.
Heineke might be relatively new to the tournament scene, but he is no slouch. He's going to recognize how dangerous his flop is, and I think he's going to be raising here a lot.
Those strawberry and custard chips are worth 25k each. It's a raise to 175,000.
A delicious raise.
All in.
Faraz shoves.
It's all going in.
And Heineke calls.
Huge flip. So gross.
Faraz has 11 outs with 2 cards to come.
Above average flop.
I'd say so.
Faraz is our all-in player.
Especially against aces.
And Faraz hits a 7 on the turn.
Well, a spade would have had Heineke drawing dead, so I guess the good news is he has out.
Doesn't hit it. Faraz Jaka improves to a flush and doubles up.
You guys don't believe me much, huh?
Sick part is Faraz probably did believe him. He's just that crazy.
Despite a great run of cards, Nicholas Heineke is down to 219,000, while Faraz built a big stack in his first ever Super High Roller. We'll find out how you can get live updates during the European Poker Tour by going to PokerStars.com. Welcome back to the PokerStars and Monte Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final Super High Roller, where registration closed with Phil Ivey putting down his third 100k. 42 players entered the tournament, all aiming to capture the massive 1.7 million euros up top for the winner.
That much, huh? I wouldn't stick around here with it. I don't want to say Monaco's expensive, but I saw the front desk running a credit check on Tywin Lannister.
Blind still 3,000, 6,000. Viktor Blom has ace-jack under the gun. He raises to 12k. Pocket kings for Mike Watson.
We would almost always see a 3-bet here. Sorry, Victor.
There is a re-raise from the Mad Dog to 32,000. Talking of mad, what is Faraz thinking of doing with 10 deuce?
Viktor, how much did you start with? I just can't see your chest.
Little over 300.
Faraz Jaka gets out of line more often than that annoying person at the grocery store.
Faraz will 4-bet to 81,000. That'll prompt a fold from Viktor. Chances are Mike Watson is not going to lay down kings.
James, for once you and I agree on something.
Watson 5-bets, 162k.
And this is Mike Watson saying, excuse me, but can you please stay in the line? What am I, supposed to push your card forward? I don't care if you forgot something. You should have thought of it the other 3 times you got out of line.
Is Faraz seriously contemplating a 6-bet here?
Maybe a little for show.
He folds.
Nice pre-flop pop for the Mad Dog. Look at him, foaming at the mouth.
And Faraz Jaka down to 792,000.
That's the same face he made when he cracked aces. Wonder what's going on in there. I bet it's a lot of paisley.
28 players remain in the Super High Roller. And Mike Watson has another big pocket pair, jacks this time. Under the gun, he raises to 13,000. Pocket 8s for Jason Mercier.
Too strong to fold, usually too weak to 3-bet from this spot.
He calls. Faraz is out. Heineke folds. Blom gives it up. Gruesome passes the small blind. Ace-9 for the short stack Tony Gregg.
Typically, you're not going to want to mess around with this hand after a raise and a call from the first 2 players to act, but he is short.
He has shoved for 46,000.
He could potentially triple up here.
Watson responds with a 4-bet to 79k.
Like a creeper in a bar, he is trying to isolate.
A Mercier responds with a 5-bet to 152,000.
This is actually what they call a back raise, flatting then re-raising when it gets back to you. Isolation fail.
Watson just flats. So Gregg is all in and competing for the main pot. We've still got action on the side between Mercier and Watson. An ace-high flop could slow the action.
Tony Gregg raised the roof. Significant side pot to fight for here.
Watson checks, Mercier checks behind. Deuce on the turn. Watson checks a second time.
I'd say this might check all the way if it weren't for that huge side pot. And it looks like Jason wants it more.
Mercier had the betting lead pre-flop. And he is going to bet 142,000.
With the worst hand.
Watson folds the jacks.
Mike decides he can't beat much on this board and gets sad very fast.
So Jason Mercier wins the side pot, but Tony Gregg wins the main pot and triples up.
Could they have at least put the 8 out there and make the Mad Dog not such a sad dog?
Well, it's like I rebought almost. For free.
Nothing's free in this town.
Well, by winning the side pot, Mercier has reclaimed the chip lead. Jason Mercier burst onto the worldwide poker scene in spectacular fashion in Season 4 of the EPT. The 21-year-old took down the inaugural San Remo main event and never looked back. He continued to make deep runs and rack up the victories.
Let's have a round of applause for our 2 players.
It's a 10! Another river suck out for Jason Mercier, and this one gives him the win. At the top of his game here in Monaco, Jason's once again proved he's one of poker's heavy hitters.
It's been a fantastic Grand Final Festival. You know, I won the open face tournament, then immediately started playing the main. I'm just in a really good place right now. Everything's kind of going well for me. I'm playing really well, you know, I'm getting things together in my personal life. I'm just in a good mood and happy, and everything's going well.
When Jason says he's getting things together in his personal life, he means he's upgraded from tank tops to hooded sweatshirts. Well done.
Let's head over to our secondary feature table, where there's been an under-the-gun +1 raise from Cyril Mitzi. He's made it 13,000 with ace-queen. Vladimir Troianovsky's got king-7 suited on the button.
Vlad, not as intimidating as I remember him.
And he re-raises. It's a 3-bet to 29k.
And this is a fine hand to call 3-bet with.
Mitzi does call, heads up to the flop. Well, that flop gives Mitzi top pair, second pair for Vlad.
Sorel's likely to check, call down, or bet the turn if Troyanovsky decides to check behind.
Well, Mitzi does check to the pre-flop aggressor. Looks like Troyanovsky will continue.
29,000.
That's 29,000.
Should be a very easy call for Sorel.
He does call. Turn card is the 8 of diamonds.
Board gets a little wetter, but nothing that's going to be drowning ace-queen too often.
Mitzi checks a second time. And Vlad is betting a second time, 77,000.
This time, maybe still for value.
Mitzi calls again. 9 of spades on the river.
It's a really scary card for Troyanovsky.
Mitzi checks a third time.
Vlad likely knows his hand is no good, so if he bets, he'd be turning it into a bluff now.
Troyanovsky checks it back, shows the 7. Mitzi shows the queen.
I think when Vlad checks the river there, he's expecting to be losing most of the time.
Well, with that pot, Sorel Mitzi moves up to nearly 1.2 million. It's his turn to reclaim the tournament chip lead. Jason Mercier second once again, with Faraz Jaka in third, Vladimir Troyanovsky in fourth. Currently rounding off the top 10 is Daniel Negreanu.
You know, Daniel's a man of many talents, and here in Monaco, he's been taking on the role of delivery boy. Guess the poker's not going so well for Daniel if he's got to be hawking food to the other players. Jeez, how the mighty have fallen.
On the outer tables, this hand was opened from the button by Haxton. Alter got 3-bet from the small blind. Toint then flatted in the big blind. Action back on Haxton.
All in.
And he shoves for just shy of 325,000. Alter got reshoves.
And isn't Toint the guy who double parked his yacht outside?
He did arrive by yacht and then sports car. Obviously a man of means. He folds.
Ace king.
Yes, it is ace-king.
I like Haxton. Has ace-queen. He's dominated.
And he can't change in his Superman in front of all these people.
I feel good about this one. I've been running good this week.
Alter got is a 68% favorite.
I need some more hearts.
At least 2 of them.
Haxton now drawing dead to a queen.
Alright, you cover, yeah? I have 320?
Haxton has fewer chips. He's out.
Yeah, you got your covers. Yeah, that's 335, decent consolation prize and stuff.
Yeah, Talal dropped half a mil ball to Ike in a cash game a few days ago, so he's probably not sweating it too hard. And Max Altergott is another one of these wizards who only climbs down from the nosebleeds to play huge events that only last a few days. Some of the guys in this tournament see more nosebleeds than an MMA trainer.
Back to the main feature table where the action's been folded to Jason Mercier on the button. He's got pocket 6s. He raises. 8-10 suited for Faraz in the small blind.
Little one gapper. A raise here would be about as shocking as the end of the movie Braveheart. You know it's going to happen, but you still think it might not.
Faraz does 3-bet to 31,000. Ace-4 suited for Nicholas Heineke. He folds.
Well, at least Faraz isn't as out of line this time. And Heineke just folded 2 hearts.
Jason calls. We're off to the flop.
Yeah, you can't fold that to Faraz.
Wow. A set for Mercier. A straight draw and a flush draw for Jaka.
Well, see you at the river.
Jaka continues for 39,000.
If Jason raises here, which he could very well do, it is all going in.
Mercier does raise, makes it 93,000.
Now, a shove here from Faraz would be too big, but make no mistake, neither of these guys is folding. I don't know how you stay composed making a bet like this at these stakes.
Faraz re-raises. It's a 3-bet to 205,000.
How much you started with? I think right on 800.
Jason's gonna pile it in here. Sometimes he'll be behind, yeah, but so much more often Faraz is gonna have a big draw just like this.
On.
There's the shove. And there's the call from Jaka.
I don't think Faraz was expecting Jason to be this strong.
This is a clash of 2 of the biggest stacks in the tournament. There's 1.6 million in the middle and it's going Mercier's way unless Faraz can hit a heart to make a flush or a queen or a 7 to make a straight. And he needs to hit on the river. down to just 26% equity and on the verge of elimination. It's a blank.
Yeah, bud. Yeah, buddy.
Faraz is out.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Faraz's style is just ridiculously crazy. His poker game is also pretty wild.
He was the third biggest stack, but now he's out of his first ever super high roller.
Red, red. Yep. Red 3, red ace. Scary.
Mercier now monster chip leader. Welcome back to the PokerStars and Monte Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final Super High Roller. Before the break, two of the big stacks got it all in on the flop for 1.6 million chips. Jason Mercier's set held up, eliminating Faraz Jaka from the tournament.
Yeah, bud.
Yeah, buddy.
It's one of those hands where you're never ahead, but you're always almost coin flipping versus any other hand. So it's one of those spots where you just got to get it in and gamble.
We've also lost Patrick Antonius and Tobias Reinkemeyer, resulting in a redraw for our final three tables.
Final three tables, yes, but we're further from the money than most of the dot-coms that went belly up in the early 2000s.
Well, Jason Mercier still has a seat at the feature table, surrounded by a refreshed lineup of formidable foes. Blinds 4,000, 8,000 with a 1,000 ante. Ivy under the gun, king, queen, he raises. Mercier and Negreanu both fold. Pocket sixes for Donnie Stern.
Fine spot for a just call. Not really a hand you want to 3-bet an under the gun razor with, especially when it's Phil Ivey.
He does call. Paul Newey will fold. Gruesome's out. Scott Seaver has ace-king in the small blind.
There's no way that's his actual face. Our makeup department is unreal.
He 3-bets to 55,000. Fabian Quas folds the big blind. Action on Ivy. He gives up the king-queen. Stern with the sixes. Also folds.
Two easy folds, actually, especially with their stack sizes. Ship the pot to the Viking. And a ram's horn full of ale, please. I think I just saw a bird fly out of that thing. Look, there it goes.
23 remain in this super high roller event. And we've got action on the outer tables. Viktor Blom is facing a 4-bet, and if he calls, it'll cost him everything he's got. Sam Trickett is the one putting him to the test. And Viktor's calling. Trickett shows ace-king, and Viktor is crushed with ace-jack.
Ooh, domination nation.
Blom at risk, and way behind.
I'll chop with you, buddy.
There is a 14% chance of a split. But ace-king holds.
So there goes another SHR champ. What does SHR stand for again?
Super high roller.
Man, I gotta learn these things. No offense to Sam Trickett, but he can't win this also. He's won enough. Forever.
Cheers, Justin. Nice hand. Good luck to long. Cheers.
And there goes another SHR winner. Justin Bonomo, who won this tournament last year, is out. The eliminations continue. Nicholas Heineke hits the rail.
Don't cry for Nick either, Argentina. He picked up about 300K in that same high-stakes cash game this week.
His chips slide across the table to Timothy Adams, who is now third on the tournament leaderboard behind Sorel Mitzi and Jason Mercier. Mercier closing in on the 2 million mark.
I'm not gonna lie, this isn't Jason's finest hashtag work, but I guess he's too busy focusing on the 1.75 million euros up top. Let's go.
We're gonna sweat with Phil Ivey here and play a hand from his perspective.
Well, we're gonna sweat with Phil, so what's it gonna be? NBA? Craps? Oh, poker.
Ace-10 of diamonds, and it's a raise to 18,000.
Fold, fold. Gruesome fold. That's it. We win, right? Easy game.
Scott Seaver's in the big blind.
Oh, God.
And he calls.
You know what's under Scott Seaver's beard? Another beard.
Queen high flop, only 1 diamond.
And a C-bet from us is going to win this a fair amount.
25,000.
No, man, I just noticed we're kind of short stacked, too.
Seaver calls. Turn card is the king of hearts. Ivy now with a gut shot.
And that is a terrible card for us.
Seaver checks a second time.
I am all for checking behind.
And that's what Mr. Ivy elects to do.
Oh my god, me and Phil have so much in common.
Ace of hearts on the river. Ivy now with top pair, but it is a 4-heart board.
Oof, what now?
And Seaver leads for 21,000.
Small bet puts us in a weird spot. We're only losing to a flush. Why? Because I don't think Scott's gonna bet anything that's better than our hand, but also worse than a flush. He's gonna bet for value and his bluffs, but nothing in between. Just comes down to how often we think Zach Galifianakis is gonna bluff us. I think not that often.
Ivy folds. And this is one of the occasions when Seaver was bluffing.
Oh my god, we got bluffed. No. Now Scott peels that beard off, looks at the camera, and goes, just bluffed you twice. Phil's not left with that many chips. Don't worry, I'm sure he'll think of something.
Over to the secondary feature table. We pick up the action on the turn. Sorel Mitzi has bet 35,000. He raised pre and checked the flop.
Cool.
Watson calls the 35k. We go to the river. 4 of hearts.
Mike was assuming most of the time when Sorel doesn't have an ace, a 10 will be good.
And Sorel checks the river.
Assuming Mike could have the ace, but giving him a chance also to bet his bluffs.
He checks behind. Queens are good.
The Miz picking up queen balls. How do you do it, Miz, huh? You just do it. The Mizinator. Mizuriski. The Miz. Play good. Run good. Look good. Mizzy, you're a kid that has it all. I guess the real question is, do you have Eric Seidel's cell phone number? Yes or no?
Nope.
Oh, you have not made it in life, sir.
Is that the
That's
measurement?
a tough one to get. If you get Eric Seidel's cell phone number in the poker world, you've made it? You've kind of made it.
Actually, Antonio, it's Mitzi, not Mizzy. Mitzi, not Mizzy. Does it help when I repeat it like that?
It's hard to think of someone I want to hurt more than Antonio. I basically decided that I wasn't going to play. And then my friend Max Altergott, he decided he wanted to play. I sold some action to some people. Antonio wanted 5%. Then he decided 5 levels in he didn't want it because I hadn't registered on time. It gave me like a lot of incentive to really focus on this tournament and try to win it because I want to punish him. I want to make sure that he regrets not taking that piece.
If Sorel really wanted to punish Antonio, they should prop bet a buck every time he's condescending. He'll be broke by the end of the show.
Well, there's Sorel's buddy, Max Altergott, who's just been 4-bet by Lucky Chewy. And Altergott is responding with a 5-bet.
Does anyone feel like it's getting cold in here?
A shove and a call.
All in and a call.
And it's that old chestnut, aces against kings.
Icy.
Lichtenberger, the player at risk. And no help from on the flop. And he's drawing dead on the turn.
Lucky Chewy is now Stucky Chewy, 100,000 euros. Why? Because Max Alter got all your chips.
Man, that line was so bad, it was almost awesome.
Thank you.
With Andrew Lichtenberger's elimination, 19 players remain in this super high roller. We're heading back to the feature table, where the action is on Fabian Quass. He folds. Ivy, under the gun +1, has ace-jack suited.
23.
And he raises to 23,000.
Raising this pot and his general level of disdain for being on camera.
Fold it around to Stern. He passes. Gruesome mucks. Queen 10 suited for Scott Seaver in the big blind. And he will defend.
Seaver again. Scotty won the last one. Phil's not gonna like that.
An 8-9-10 flop. Seaver pairs his 10. Ivy's up and down.
Decent pieces for both players. Scott's checking to the razor, wants to play this hand in flow.
Ivy continues for 30,000.
This is going to be a just call most of the time. Let your opponent bluff again on the turn.
Seaver does call. The turn card is a jack. So Ivy now with a pair, but Seaver with a straight.
And it looks like Scotty wants value now.
60,000.
Phil was already losing, but now he's further behind with a better hand. He knows there's a lot of broadways in Scott's defense range, and all the hands that have a queen in them have him drawing dead already. Plenty of 2 pairs in there, too.
Ivy reluctantly folds. Round 2 to Seaver.
You might think he's glaring at Scott, but there's actually an NBA game on across the room.
I got food for a bunch of people from Loving Hunt.
I've never really been able to do that.
Do what?
Eat while playing.
It's a skill. I like eating chicken wings.
Not everybody has what it takes.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a job, and not everybody likes to eat at their desk. Especially when creepy Nancy from accounts is always staring at us. Nancy, I'm trying to eat. Get out of here.
Ace queen suited for Fabian Quass in the small blind. Eyeing Ivy's stack.
I know he's not terrified to raise Ivy, but imagine if that's why he was stalling.
Raise.
He makes it 25,000. 9s for Ivy.
It's all going in. Ivy versus front hoodie.
Ivy shoves. And Quass calls. It's a flip.
Fabian looking for aces and queens across the board.
Ivy, the player at risk, needing these 9s to hold.
He's a slight favorite.
Bigger favorite now.
And a big whiff for Quass. 9's looking real good.
What a disappointing turn.
Upside down 9 is brutal.
The card is a 7 of
Can you feel that? How happy everyone's for you right now, Phil? Can you feel it? You feel the love?
Phil's got to finish at least 5th to make a profit.
What's that?
And he's still below average, but hey, at least he doubled up. Hooray!
It's day 2 of the PokerStars and Monte Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final Super High Roller. Jason Mercier and Sorel Mitzi have been battling for top spot on the leaderboard today. 19 players remain, but only 7 will advance to day 3 and take home a share of nearly 5 million euros.
There's 5 million euros in this room. That's it. Outside, I saw a 5 million euro bicycle.
As well as Jason Mercier, we've got Daniel Negreanu and Phil Ivey on our feature table. Action's been folded to Fabian Quass in the small blind. Once again, he finds himself in a position where he wants to raise Ivy's big. Quass makes it 30,000. Ivy's got 9s in the big again!
Super obvious spot for a 3-bet.
This time, not an auto shove from Ivy. A 3-bet to 90,000.
I think the spot is so obvious for a 3-bet that Fabian could easily jam. I know this, he's probably almost never calling here.
He thinks it over and he folds.
Wow, kind of unlucky for Phil. Good laydown by Fabian. He will not be Quass when he sees this on TV.
Ivy on the ascent, up to 455,000. For many, he is the greatest in the game. 9 World Series bracelets, 5th on the all-time money list, and in this tournament, for 3 bullets, an investment of 300K.
With the rebuy, it makes it very interesting. If you have a tough table, you could take more chances because once you rebuy and you have a redraw and you go to another table usually. Or if you run a little unlucky, you just want to rest and come back the next day, you can play again too. I think it's very good for tournaments.
Did you see that quick shot of Phil smiling? Longest one in existence. That was it. Bam, bam. It was actually a grimace. He had just stubbed his toe.
Action on Donnie Stern. Ace Queen of Diamonds under the gun.
All right. Donnie, not exactly the kind of guy to keep quiet about that kind of thing.
22,000 he makes it. Hold it around to the blinds. Jason in the small blind, not interested. Daniel Negreanu in the big blind, potentially interested. Ace 10.
This is a hand Daniel's got to defend with, but he's going to play it pretty cautiously against an under-the-gun raise.
Queen, Jack, Jack flop. Stern pairs his queen. Negreanu has a gut shot. Negreanu has checked to the razor. Stern continues for 31,000.
Daniel looks like he's going to call with his gut shot.
Wait a second. That's a raise. A minimum raise to 62,000.
Yeah, remember when I said he was going to play it cautiously? I meant to say recklessly. I think this bluff is going to look like exactly what it is, a bunch of soyloni.
Call.
Stern calls.
Yeah, you're just not getting top pair to fold there.
7 on the turn.
Maybe Daniel's just shut it down now.
He slows down. He checks. And Stern? He checks behind.
He's short, though, so my guess is he's not folding.
9 on the river. Changes nothing.
8-10 and King-10 just got there, but not Ace-10. So let's see if Daniel really has shut down.
He checks.
And does Donnie value bet this, or does he check behind in case Daniel played something fast and then super slow for some reason?
He goes all in. And Daniel snap folds.
Daniel passes.
Let him through.
Donnie wins his pot.
Yeah. Just put it right there on there.
Oh, the flute here.
Hey, did you grab something you got there, John, already?
Guy can't even speak when he's hungry. No wonder he made that terrible raise on the flop. Seaver looking interested now. Come on, buddy. It's okay. You can have some.
Where's the kebab of happiness? Might be in here. Don't deal me out over there. That'd be brutal.
The kebab of happiness?
Mm-hmm. Look how happy he is.
Forks are coming in a minute.
This is adorable.
Thank you, Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel doesn't even get the forks at his own place. His assistant doesn't even get the forks. Her assistant does it, and I wish I were joking.
You guys, can I get silverware, please? Someone get me silverware, service or something. Thank you.
Sure. Get the food somewhere else. They'll just provide and clean the silverware for you. Seems fair.
Well, some people in the room are still playing poker. Sam Trickett, Timothy Adams, and Paul Newey. 3-way to the river. Action on Trickett. And he will bet 150,000.
Almost a full pot-sized bet.
Adams was the pre-flop aggressor, but he folds. Newey?
He and Sam Trickett were also part of that super huge cash game that played a few days ago. Can't imagine Paul thinking so hard with a king or a queen here, so my guess he's got some kind of pair smaller than that, at best.
Yeah, I knew that.
He folds as well.
Should have played.
Ooh, let's everyone all say what they had. I had queen 7. I had 8-5. I had aces. Lol, no you didn't.
Back to the feature table. Fabian Quass under the gun. Not gonna play. Phil Ivey. Pocket 9s again?
My analysis here, James, is that Phil is getting 9s a lot.
Solid analysis. 5s for Gruesome in the small blind.
Gruesome's one of the few guys at the table Ivy's got covered.
All in.
He shoves. All in for 224,000 and Ivy calls. And Gruesome is at risk and a 4-1 underdog. And that flop means Gruesome needs running 5s to win outright.
Or quad jacks and a big card just to chop.
He knows he's drawing very thin. And he's drawing dead on the turn.
All right, good luck, guys.
Ivy increases his stack by around 50%. And it's a full house on the board. Well, the good news for Gruesome is at least he can toss the patchouli and get himself a burger, provided he has 45 euros.
Ivy, up to nearly 700,000 now. We're down to 18, and we could be down to 17. Talal Shakurchi all in. Sorel Mitzia's called, and he's got Talal dominated.
Sorel in a great spot to continue Operation Stick It to Antonio.
Not a great flop for Talal.
Pretty good flop.
Yeah. Not the word.
Chop brewskis.
Lots of chop possibilities, and Talal gets the 3 of diamonds back as an out.
No dice.
Yeah, man.
Good luck.
Been a rough week for Talal.
The Miz is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Keep doing it, Miz.
If the Miz is back, and it's Mitz, by the way, but if the Miz is back, Antonio, where did he go? Where did he go?
At the main feature table, Scott Seaver is under the gun. And he's raising with pocket nines.
Doesn't he know that's Ivy's hand?
Threes for Quass. He calls. Ivy's got ace-jack this time around.
Ivy's stack is now such that he can actually see a flop.
He calls on the button. Jason Mercier folds the small blind. Daniel Negreanu, king-jack in the big blind.
Looks like he's considering a squeeze. He's short, but he is getting by far the worst of it.
He does move all in.
How much do you have?
650-ish.
Scott may not want to get involved with the action reopen, but neither guy behind him 3-bet, so could their hands be that good?
I'm all in.
He reshoves. Quass folds. Ivy also folds.
Daniel got the hand that had him crushed to fold at least.
Pair nines? Sweet, I'm in a race. Yay! So we want like a king, deuce, and a 3 on the flop? Okay.
Doesn't matter, the cards are set. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Well, that's one theory.
I'm so due to beat you in a spot like this that I think I'm going to. I believe I'm going to.
Power of positive thinking.
Oh, I think it's going to happen because I've lost a bunch of them to you in the past, so odds of...
If you want to bet on it, I'll bet that's either one.
You like that side, huh?
Not quite a race for these two. Ivy folded a jack.
Daniel at risk. He needs to hit.
Oh, I needed to have an ace. I should have had an ace.
Phil had an ace.
Oh, that's not good. Now I'm going to hit my king.
No, none of it changes. It's still that card.
On the river, it's not a heart. Let's have the river.
Got a lot of heart, kid. Whoa, black paint and I missed. All right, guys, good luck.
Thank you.
Daniel all smiles. He did know this was the 100K, right?
Redraw.
Redraw?
Redraw.
We are down to 16 players and they will redraw for seats around the final 2 tables.
Well, let's let the boys eat first. They're starving. Look, Tim Adams was hiding food under the table. Troyanovsky, famished. Is that pair vegan? Suspect.
Bad timing, but what do I owe you for the food?
Oh, don't worry about it. It's
You sure?
all good. Yeah, no sweat.
Thanks a lot.
Enjoy. Bon appetit.
Thank you.
They're going to get it right now.
Okay, good luck, kids.
Thanks, Dan.
Scott Seaver eats Daniel's lunch and then eats Daniel's lunch. And we are going to have so many heroes at the featured table next time, we might as well change the name of the show to Justice League.
Jason Mercier is still the tournament chip leader with more than 1.7 million. He's got Cyril Mitzi and now Scott Seaver chasing his heels. Phil Ivey is still alive but in the bottom end of the leaderboard. But all these guys have got more chips than D-Negs.
Well, every time I'm asked the question, like, who has the best chance, right? It depends if Phil Ivey's still in. If Phil Ivey's still in, it's always going to be him. So you can ask me this question next year and the year after that and the year after that, and I'm going to say Phil Ivey.
Next time, even the chip leader feels the pressure of the money bubble.
Are you a bubble bath kind of guy, Jason? You don't take bubble bath?
Afraid of bubbling? I think everyone has that fear a little bit.
And will Jason continue to run like Jason?
8. Turn card as the 8. Brick.
Jason always gets what he wants.